We've reached a milestone in getting from Rocky Flats National Wildlife Refuge to Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. But now we want to, over the next couple of years, we want to pull that trail system through Rocky Flats National Wildlife Refuge, through Boulder Open Space, and up into Lyons, thereby connecting Boulder and Lyons and also serving the Lyons community, which was very much adversely affected by the flood. We do have state funds for that effort, but we need more funds to make the overall vision a reality. With the help of the FLAP funding, this can be an absolutely, bar none, world-class urban trail system. The primary purpose of the project originated as a way to connect our urban wildlife refuges. We have Rocky Flats National Wildlife Refuge, Two Ponds National Wildlife Refuge, and Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge. And they're three crown jewels right in our Front Range, right in urban areas, often near very disadvantaged communities. The vision that Governor Hickenlooper had back in 2012, along with then Secretary Ken Salazar and now Secretary Sally Jewell, was to provide urban communities, especially disadvantaged communities, and urban youth access to the outdoors, access to the environment and our natural resources. Recognizing that in today, our youth spend far too much time with their heads stuck in electronic devices. And this allows them to more readily enjoy the environment, our natural resources, and wildlife, all with which we are inextricably connected.
We have a momentous occasion happening today. We have our first bridge install for this section of the Rocky Mountain Greenway Trail. The Croak Canal Bridge is going in first. It's a 72-foot long bridge crossing the Croak Canal at Stanley Lake. City of Arvada, along with our partners in Broomfield and Westminster, have been involved for nearly 4 years in working to complete the vision of America's great outdoors Rocky Mountain Greenway Trail. We are very excited to start negotiations with Jefferson County Public Library through this project. We've been talking about additional features of this trail, including a trailhead, interpretive education opportunities, getting youth and families out to enjoy what is right in their backyard. Along this entire corridor, there's great opportunities for visitors, wildlife watching, we have conservationists, we have bird watchers, we have walkers, hikers, joggers, you name it, we have it. This will just add to the recreation opportunities for our residents. This bridge and underpass will help us accomplish our goals of creating connections that have been barriers for decades now.
My name is David Lucas, and I'm the refuge manager out here at the Rocky Flats National Wildlife Refuge. The Rocky Flats is a very unique place. Geologically, a couple of million years ago, something dramatic happened and dumped a ton of rock on the bottom of the foothills here where we are, and it almost looks like a glacial alluvial fan. And so it's flat and it's rocky, and that's why it got its name, Rocky Flats. But that also created just an amazingly unique habitat type out here that evolved over those millions of years. This trail is going to be an amazing new addition. There are already great regional trails throughout this whole metropolitan area, but this corner is a real stymie. Currently, there's no great way to make it across this corner into Boulder County. And so a part of the Rocky Mountain Greenway was to make this connection across and through the Rocky Flats National Wildlife Refuge. Currently we have trails at both sides, but we don't have trails through. So this trail would provide access to this awesome place, as well as making that really important connectivity that's missing right now in this area. So the human history here at the Rocky Flats began with Native Americans and then moved into homesteaders. And then in the 1950s, the Atomic Energy Commission decided that this would be one place out of 13 in the United States that would be used to manufacture components for nuclear weapons. So at that point, the Rocky Flats plant was constructed in the center of the refuge on a small parcel, about 700 acres of this. Almost 8,000 acres was used for that plant. They manufactured triggers for nuclear warheads here for a period of time. And then when that mission began to slow down, they ultimately moved towards the cleanup of this site. So this site was listed as a Superfund site, and it was cleaned up over about approximately 20 years. And everything that was here was scraped, packaged, taken somewhere else. And then those lands were ultimately certified clean by the US EPA and provided the Fish and Wildlife Service to manage as a national wildlife refuge. We are currently in the process of planning and designing a new visitor center out here, which will be a place where people can come to learn about the history of the site, what the refuge is about, to get oriented, and to have access to the trail and, take advantage of this terrain and this setting and these aesthetic views that really only exist here at the Rocky Flats. So this new net zero facility is pretty cool. Net zero means that it has no net impact on the environment. So our electricity would be generated by solar. Our sewage and septic would be housed in-house. Recycled materials wherever possible to make this as environmental of a building as possible. It's good for the future, and it's good for everybody to come and visit a facility that is net zero. The Federal Lands Access Program grant is a great opportunity because it requires collaboration, it requires partnerships. So we are thrilled that our neighboring counties in Jefferson County and Boulder are interested in pursuing this project. The funding would be used particularly from the flap side to work on the two crossings across these large roads. We need to have an underpass on the road behind me, which is Highway 128, to connect to the Boulder County trails. We also need an overpass over what's called Indiana Street on the eastern boundary. And that corridor is going to enlarge further and have even more traffic on it. So our goal is to get people here safely. Then when they get into the refuge system is committed to investing into the trails. So the federal government's paying for the trails, they're paying for the facilities, the buildings, the trailheads, and we're really relying on the flap to help us with these really challenging highway crossings.